Alright guys, sorry to be a bit shaky here. I do have some of the first portions of the rear end of the new Albatross printing out. But yeah, here's the new layout. Similar in dimensions. Typically, as you can see in the bottom of this file here, it was previously broken up into many portions. And as I've gotten a little bit better, from my home taught CAD designing here, I've been able to create different shapes and realize, oh, I could just make it all in one single folder pretty easily, actually. So yeah, main changes obviously are in the rear end here, the mainly being the rudder and the propeller shaft area in the rear. Obviously, the whole design previously was, as soon as we got movement forward, it was kind of displacing water around the propeller, and we were just spinning in air, ventilating, instead of having, efficient propulsion going on. So I gave a little angle to the rear end here, and hopefully water has time to get in and fill that cavity. I'm kind of limited to how far down I can mount the motor due to it having to sit on the bottom of the hole on a mount itself. So, I can't, and I don't want to angle it downward towards the rear, because then it's going to be pushing the nose down into the water. Second biggest change here is the rudder. Obviously, we had those side mounted, really big, really fat rudders, causing a lot of drag, and honestly not very effective. They really relied on water moving quickly past them in order to operate. So with this design, as long as I have some throttle on, it should aid into the turn, because it'll actually jet the water in that direction. On top of it being a much more narrow and clean design as well. It's coming out of the hole there, and I'll just mount the servo. We did have, what I suspect as the most leakage we had on the previous design would be this like nipple area where it came out of the hole, and I had the propeller shaft kind of JB welded in there and trying to block off water access, water intrusion. But it met up right at the rear plane of the vehicle. It was a really good choke point for the water to get in. So now, as you can see, the shaft penetrates all the way in. Instead of being an inch long shaft, it is, I forgot the exact measurement, but somewhere around 3 inches long. I can really get either grease or JB weld really in there and block that off that water intrusion. Somehow I overlooked it on the CAD file, but as you can see right there, while it's printing, part of the shaft is not clear, right where that lower portion of the hole comes through. I can show you on here. I must have did some editing after I had made the shaft hole, so now there's like a 3mm section of this that penetrates right through, but it's fine. I'll just drill it out later, I guess. Not too worried about that. I'll have a little water intrusion here, but this should be above the water line most of the time, this portion of the rudder. And I'll put a rubber boot or something to kind of stop. It'll still have bilge pumps. Now that I've seen how effective they are, this one will only operate two, one in each hole. But these new motors that I'm getting from Amazon tomorrow have a water jacket. So I'll have the other pumps, instead of being forward pumps, they'll just be water cooling pumps. So it'll have a continuous stream of water coming out of that end for those pumps. I might need to upgrade how efficient those are going to be due to them might possibly burn out. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, well, that's the basic layout. We do have some changes up here, obviously. This is still a rough design. I'm going to be printing it from the rear forward, so I'm working slowly forward. This is just a draft, and then I'm refining it as the pieces print. But, they're taking 15, like this one's 15 hours to print. So, it's definitely a good week ahead of me for both sides. Yeah, I eliminated one of the openings here, and then I ordered a bunch of I think they're like neodymium magnets, really small ones that are gonna just magnetize these hatches on. It'll be much quicker, and honestly, I'm not so worried about a lot of water intrusion. Those pumps are pretty good at emptying them out if water gets in there. I just want to keep the most of the water out, especially like if a wave crashes overboard. Yeah, a little more angular here. I got a lot of so on my previous design, all my trims were kind of created separately or for just one portion, and I adapted them as I went forward with it, but I was able to kind of make the trims work together. This is the rear left facing like this way. Let's line that up. Sorry. So yeah, it's a little lower on this side because that's the inside. And then we have a nice high, like fencing, whatever you call that. I gotta learn some more maritime terms. But yeah, that's the basic layout. 1500 kV motors coming in, still 4S, still 120 amp ESCs. I think it'll be a much better setup. I think about a week or so I'll have most of this printed out, but I'll post some shorts about the progress and then a main video, and give me 10 days or so. Thank you guys. I really appreciate anybody who takes the time to watch my videos. This is just a thing I do in my hobby time or my off time, so any support is really appreciated. Thank you so much for watching.